You've launched Planetside 2, hit open a player slot, and you're presented with 3 factions, purple and teal, blue and yellow, or red and black. There is a small flavour text for each, and a little Empire music. And my running theory is that the new Conglomerate are the most picked because of their guitar riff that plays every time you go past them. However, which is the best faction, you may ask? And I assure you, many of my commenters do ask just that. Well, bluntly, none of them are the best. However, they all do have their own quirks, in-game mechanics and visuals, which I will try to tackle in this video, to give you the best faction for your taste. Planetside 2 doesn't show you much of the lore, which is hidden away in wikis. However, I think it might help to know what the hell is going on. In very short, it is the mid-2000s. Earth is united in the face of a wormhole which has appeared in the solar system, destroying Pluto under the Terran Republic. A fleet is sent to explore the far side, consisting of the Terran Republic military, a group of corporations who aren't too happy with the Republic, and a group of scientists. Half of the fleet is destroyed trying to enter the wormhole, and it closes. There are 40,000 left on the other side. They do have some scuffles, and the moderate Terran Republic leader is killed, and a strict militaristic leader takes over under martial law. They find a planet to terraform, first called New Earth and then finally called Araxis, and scientists uncover an alien artifact left by the Vanu. Many of the scientists become infatuated with the alien technology and research, becoming almost cult-like. There is a lot of friction between the new Conglomerate and Terran Republic on the planet. War breaks out. The scientist cult also declares itself independent as a Vanu sovereignty, and thus we find ourselves in a forever war. The Terran Republic want order over Araxis, the new Conglomerate want to be free from regulation, and the Vanu sovereignty believe the only way forward for mankind is advanced technology. So how do the factions' weaponry stack up? There are some very rough faction traits governing weapon balance. New Conglomerate have high damage, often offset by control or speed. Terran Republic have large magazines and fast weapons, often offset by damage and control, and the Vanu have control and no bullet drop for some of their weapons. The truth is though that most weapons have similar counterparts on each side. For example, fast firing carbines. The TR have the Lynx, NC have the GD7F, and VS have the Serpent. This is the same with the light machine guns. MSWR, Orion and Anchor are all close quarters weapons with comparable stats for each faction. So for the most part, there isn't a massive diversity in the weapons, and there are similar counterparts on each faction. The Empire specific weapons though add more quirks. For the heavy assault class rocket slot, the new Conglomerate have the heavy Phoenix camera controlled rocket launcher. The Terran Republic have a cluster auto-lock on rocket launcher, the Striker, and the Vanu have a laser beam weapon, the Lancer, which is great in groups and has pinpoint accuracy but has low damage. For main weapons, the TR have a mini chain gun which spin up and have a large magazine. The new Conglomerate have the Jackhammer, a shotgun that can burst fire, and the Vanu have the Lasher, an AoE splash weapon. There are something called directive weapons, which you basically unlock through getting a lot of kills with one set of weapons. The wildcard in these is the Vanu sovereignty, which in their LMG, carbine and assault rifle, they gain the heat mechanic. The heat mechanic means there is no longer a magazine or need to resupply ammo. This is at the cost of an extra attachment, but is a very useful mechanic to have and can give you infinite kill streaks. The new Conglomerate infiltrators are given a bolt-action sniper rifle to begin with, whereas the Terran Republic and Vanu sovereignty have a semi-automatic rifle instead. This is something I wish the devs would change, and the bolt actions are just more of a familiar sniping experience. All factions also have access to the common pool weapons by Nanite Systems, the mysterious mega company behind a lot of Planetside 2's war equipment, meaning that through all the diversity, there are also more options to conformity, and these weapons usually err on the side of high control. Onto vehicles, the Sundra APC, Liberator Bomber, Flash Transport, Galaxy Dropship, and Valkyrie Mini Dropship are the same on all factions, with a pool of Nanite Systems equipment. For the main battle tanks, MBTs, we have the Mag Rider for the Vanu sovereignty. It hovers, which gives it the ability to move side to side to dodge incoming fire, and with its secondary ability being a forward boost, makes it the most maneuverable tank. On the downside, all the cannons have bullet drop, and you have to contend with the fact that you'll also have to turn your whole vehicle to shoot the way you are facing. The Vanguard is the new Conglomerate's MBT. Its special ability is to have a shield which extends the life of the tank, making it, well, the tankiest tank. It has high damage single shot main cannons and is often revered as the best 1 versus 1 tank vehicle. The Terran Republic have the Prowler. It has 2 cannons which fire simultaneously, and its ability allows it to lock down, increasing fire rate, reload speed, and projectile speed. This makes it the most firepower-laden tank, but also the most vulnerable when locked down. It is great at bombarding player-made base components with its consistent heavy fire. There is a pool of faction-specific main battle tank and harasser the buggy weaponry. The TR have an anti-tank chain gun which rips the targets up close, and the Gatekeeper an accurate dual projectile weapon. The NC have an anti-infantry shotgun and constantly reloading cannon. The Vanu have an AoE plasma ball weapon for infantry, and accurate laser cannon and fast-firing energy weapon with energy burst. The TR have the Marauder, a fast-firing AoE anti-infantry cannon, and the NC have the Mjolnir, which is a fast-firing cannon with vehicle targets in mind. Empire-specific fighters are split into the Scythe for the Vanu Sovereignty, which is a crescent moon shape, the NC Reaver, which is like a brick, and the TR Mosquito, which is, well, quite mosquito-shaped. The Vanu Scythe is quite hard to hit from the front as it is very thin, however it is the easiest to hit from above due to a large service area. The anti-infantry weapons on each are the most different. The Vanu have the light PPA, a variant of the ground weapon, which has a large AoE splash but relatively slow ball projectiles. NC have a shotgun called the Air Hammer, which has a splash and is strong against infantry, but also if you can get close enough can tear up enemy pilots. The TR have a Banshee, a fast-firing splash nose gun, which is faster than the PPA and more concentrated but covers less area in damage. The main guns and rotary weapons are close to each other but with slight faction-flavoured variations. The Maxes are the tanks of infantry-only fights. For the most part, weapons are fairly similar with anti-tank dumbfire rocket-like options and different variants of automatic handguns. However, the NC specifically have shotguns for their Maxes, which leaves them often being taunted as the shotgun faction. These shotguns make the Maxes the kings of tight indoor fights, but can leave them a little lacking at any other range. The NC also has a wire-guided rocket it can use against tanks and infantry alike. Also, Vanu have a mini Lancer laser beams that are pinpoint deadly accurate. Each also has an ability. The TR again have the lockdown to increase firepower, NC have an energy shield which is wielded in a rectile in front of the Max, which can block incoming fire. And the Vanu have the Zoe, which increases firepower and maneuverability, but increases damage received, and nerfs means it isn't picked that often anymore. If you're into spending money and want to look as fly as possible, the wardrobe options might be important to you. The Vanu have a lot of hard sci-fi armors with metallic orbs and teal growing slits, glowing alien looking helmets, and spiky carapace for Maxes. The Terran Republic have sleek black visors and even sport the Stormtrooper helmet under another name. I would say the TR have the best selection of cosmetics, and it seems designers put out a lot of high quality stuff for this faction. On the other hand, the NC are all about a mishmash, minor equipment theme, with square edges on most of their helmets. They do have a bandana and an Aussie bush hat, however in my opinion the harsh lines and sharp edges of most of the helmets make them the least fashion savvy. At the end of the day, it is up to your apparel preference and colour taste. Perhaps that rough around the edges renegade theme might just appeal to you. Sound is another important factor to your choice. Firstly, each has their own soundtrack. The Vanu is sci-fi synths and vocalizations. The Terran Republic is orchestral, drums, trumpets, very typical militaristic sounds. And the new Conglomerate are guitar riffs through and through. The Vanu weaponry is all very pew-pew, crackling plasma, and hisses of overcharged energy coils. The NC are cracks of rifles and chewing of shotguns. And the TR are spins of miniguns, clean shots, and pounding of tank shells. Memes are another thing to consider. What is the in-game meta of each faction? Well, if you read the Yale chat, you would be led to believe that NC was Space America, or each one was William Wallace revived in the future. Though on the enemy side we'll be constantly spouting shotgun shitter, and that is something you'll have to put up with. The Terran Republic are often linked to Warhammer 40k's Empire, and players often shout for the Emperor. The Vanu Sovereignty are the Spandex faction, and are rumoured to have the best booty in all the land, and obviously fight for Papa Vanu. So, this has been a long one. When it comes to choosing a faction, always remember that this choice isn't forever, and it can be fun to play the other factions and have a slightly different flavour. And on that point, no faction is innately better, but one set of quirks might appeal to you more than others. I will also warn you that the NC do get picked the most by newer players, and honestly I think it's because of the whole freedom spiel and arguably better soundtrack. However, the TR and VS are both fun to play, and as a technophile, I have mained Vanu for a long time. Whichever way you pick, I hope this guide or introduction has been helpful. As always, it is hard trying to condense quite complex subjects and large topics, and it hasn't been as short as I had wanted. But what does everyone else think? Would you show this to a newbie? Does it go too far or not far enough? Be sure to put in the comments below. If you thought this content was flavoursome, give it a like. If you thought it was biased nanite systems propaganda, give it a dislike. And if you want more Planetside 2 content, hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching everyone. Until next time, Joshino.